Good morning, everyone. Once again, this is Black Forex coming to you. We're doing a different type of video today. Today, we're going to talk about the fundamentals that are affecting the markets. Okay, but before we get started, we have to state that this information is for educational purposes only. This is not financial advice, but we know why you're here is to find good financial information that you can approve on finances. So, with that said, let's go ahead and be started. So unless you live under a rock, we already know that there is a war happening in Europe between Russia and Ukraine. Now, what happened was that this actually put the markets, when the markets have been in a state of instability ever since the COVID started to die down. But when Russia invaded Ukraine, it automatically put the markets into almost a panic frenzy in which all the world markets was dropping, all the safe haven currencies started gaining immediate strength, but all the panic currencies almost losing strength instantly. But then when we started to hear news about basically that this is going to stay a European conflict and not lead it to a global conflict, because most of the NATO nations said they are not going to send troops. They're not going to send troops into Ukraine unless Russia threatens NATO treaty nations. So with that being said, it's basically just going to be Ukraine versus Russia. So this is going to just for at this point remain a European conflict. Now, the reason why markets have been going so turmoil up and down over this Russia news for the past about 10 trading days is because nobody understood how the world would react if Russia was to invade Ukraine. They did not know if NATO would jump to Ukraine's defense. They did not know if America and its allies would jump to Ukraine's defense, which will automatically throw us into a global type scale issue. So this is why the markets were acting as if they were in panic and then moved between unstable. So currently, right now, we're almost in a state of being between unstable and panic, where in which any type of news can sway in one way or another. So we have more NATO country leaders or GA leaders saying that they're just going to do sanctions, they're going to monitor, but they're not sending soldiers. Then we're going to lean more towards the unstable side. If we start to have Russia becoming a lot more aggressive, or the G8 nations or the NATO nations are saying they're going to start looking into military action or possible military action around Ukraine, then we'll start to lean more so towards the panic market. And then once we're in a panic market, you have panic currencies that automatically loses strength, and you have safe haven currencies that automatically gain strength. Okay. Now, one thing that we do want to talk about is the commodities. Now, oil has been going super, super crazy, and this is because uh, people believe that all the oil in the world comes from the Middle East. Well, the Middle East does produce a lot of oil, but so does Russia and so does Canada, with Russia being like the second largest producer of oil in the world. So, with Russia being the second largest producer of oil in the world, and they're invading Ukraine, that means that 9 times out of 10 that the oil that's going to go to Western Europe will be a lot more scarce because you can't fight a war and then do your everyday economic shipping goods at the same time. You got to either do one or the other. So with that being said, the oil prices started just going through the roof, skyrocketing, hitting all-time highs it hasn't seen in a very, very, very long time. But now, since we understand that this is just going to be most 9 times out of 10 just a European conflict and not a global conflict, oil prices are starting to come down some. But if, like I said, if Russia becomes a lot more aggressive, or if anything that can tip the scale, we can easily have a skyrocket in oil prices again. So this is something that you do want to kind of pay attention to. Now, if you're a person who likes to deal in stocks, this would actually be a good time to probably try to buy oil stocks, because one thing about a lot of rich people, they don't like an opportunity to miss money. So I wouldn't be surprised if in a couple weeks we hear that oil executives in America are getting investigated for price manipulation during this time of turmoil with oil. All right, and let us discuss gold. Now, gold is considered a safe haven currency. If anything happens in the world that causes global scarcity, a conflict, gold automatically shoots up in value. So this is why you have gold trading above $1,900. Okay. And so is all the other metals, even silver, even platinum. They're all trading pretty high because they all follow behind gold, right? But another metal that is not really trading like on the Forex platform, but you can kind of still invest in it is uranium. Or uranium is also skyrocketing right now too because of the conflict. But uranium um, has a lot more usage with technology and building things than actual being a currency, which is why it's gaining so much value. But gold has the potential to continue to go up because not only is it skyrocketing due to the conflict, the U.S. dollar and gold has an inverse relationship. So anytime that the U.S. dollar is strong, gold is weak. Anytime that the U.S. dollar is weak, gold is strong. Anytime gold is strong, the US dollar is weak. Anytime gold is weak, the US dollar is strong. So with them having an inverse relationship, we're currently in a state of inflation in America. Okay, our economy is going through a state of inflation. So with the global conflict coupled with the American inflation, this is the reason why gold started to shoot up to record-breaking prices too. But the thing about it is that one rule that is a golden rule and probably a simple rule to know when you're trading, you never want to buy things at all-time highs. Okay. If it's at an all time high or if it's reaching all time highs, please don't trade with your emotions and buy thinking you're going to miss the move. Because one thing about trading commodities, there is always another move to make. Okay. Always wait for the pullback before you go back into the trade. Okay. So the conflict is affecting two major commodities, which is oil and gold. So if you're a guy, if you're a trader that likes to trade oil and gold, you have to pay attention to what's going on in the world, to make sure you can be able to make the right trades at the right time. And if you're a person who likes to fancy gold and trade gold a lot, not only do you have to see what's going on in the world, you have to be paying attention to the American economics as well. Okay. Now, another thing I want to discuss, last thing we're going to discuss is cryptocurrency. Okay. Now, people actually thought that in the past, when there has been um, global panic, cryptocurrency has exploded over time, has exploded during that panic. So people thought cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Cardano, and all that, they actually thought those were going to actually act as like de facto safe havens because when people don't trust what's going on with their fiat dollars, they will move their money into cryptocurrency. But cryptocurrency is almost like going back into like a crypto winter. Like for the last couple months, we've had all the pushes that we had to all-time highs. So no, now we're getting back into like a range and price area. And this is actually causing people to have doubt in the cryptocurrency. Okay. And cryptocurrency is all about market sentiment. If people feel good about cryptocurrency, then it's going to perform very well. If people feel bad about cryptocurrency, then it's not going to perform. Then it's not going to perform well. Okay. So people have like almost a so-so demeanor towards the cryptocurrency, which is the reason why during this whole time with the Russian incident, it's been, falling. It's been very influctuous. It'll go down and go up, go down and go up. So expect it to be a lot more volatile in the next couple weeks due to the conflict and due to the overall market sentiment going on around cryptocurrency. But I personally believe, even without the Russian-Ukrainian incident, that we're going to be entering a crypto winter because Bitcoin has hit all-time highs. And the way markets work, just because you hit like 60,000 a coin, 70,000 a coin, I know everybody wants to see this $100,000 coin, $250,000 coin. It can get there, but it has to do certain things. It has to range out. It has to go up and go down. It has to be able to build up to that price. It's just not going to go there automatically. And being that crypto didn't kind of shoot up automatically, people lost a lot of faith in it, which caused it to kind of shoot back down. So if people really understood the markets, and it was a lot more people that was in this actually working together. Crypto can actually be very, very sustainable and go up. Being that majority of people who trade don't know what's really going on, they basing everything off of Facebook memes and what they think is actually happening. That's what causes it to be so volatile. Well, basically, to sum it all up, with cryptocurrency that is very volatile, being that everybody has kind of somewhat lost faith in it, and this Russian-Ukrainian conflict caused people to kind of put their money into more traditional safe havens, as the Japanese yen and gold, as opposed to Bitcoin. Okay, but at this current time, Bitcoin is starting to go back up, so we have to see how everybody's going to react to that, because we can't be just going up to establish almost like a new low high before we start to shoot down even further, or we can be establishing kind of a new uh, support area which we can bounce from and range from. Okay, so I hope this information was helpful to you guys. Happy trading.